first few months, we were at Primitive Baptist Church out by Douglas Cemetery, and it had no air conditioning, no heating, and no bathrooms.
We was coming down 123, and I had a group of the board members, and I said, you know what, that looks like a Hillcrest. And so it was a Hillcrest. It was a hill, all right, a lot of rocks on it, but we named it Hillcrest.
Well, first of all, looking back these 50 years, it was a really big blessing to be a part of the birth of this church, of Hillcrest.
Everybody was so excited to be in the building because everybody was so tired from the construction of the building because it was all done with volunteers.
The church was built by all the men of the church. They worked every day, every afternoon, and all day Saturday, and the women supported with what they could do.
From my perspective, I have a little different perspective because my daughter was born, and the first Sunday in this church was her first Sunday in church. She was a week and a half old.
Wow.
So it was an amazing day for me.
During the construction, he kind of ramrodded it because he was one of the ones that knew the construction trade, because a lot of them that helped did not know the construction trade. But as the church, he was always the worship leader and special music, and he taught Sunday school classes. He was a board member, just everything that he could to help.
Oh yes, he was a board member. Way back there. I guess he's been a board member solid for about 60-something years.
Mm-hmm.
It went from one place to the other.
And he's still an honorary board member.
Yes.
He's still an honorary board member, and is officially on our Constitution.
Yeah, he was. And he was a great man. I really liked him.
Your Raymond is in heaven with Jesus. So
yes, he is.
Tell us about Raymond. Tell us about him a little bit. We want to know.
Well, Raymond, he served on the board, and he was a greeter. He loved everybody, and he was always here. He was very faithful, and he worked himself, but he used his carpenters to work on Saturdays when they weren't working for him.
I think that just to be faithful to God, because He's going to be faithful to you. And that as long as they stay in church, they stay working for God, and stay with their Bible reading and their praise and their prayer, that God's going to always be faithful to them.
I would be so proud of this here group that's coming on up. I would love to see them really get into the church, and do all the stuff like we did, And I am so proud of them that they are coming up. The Bible says, he'll make another generation. I didn't know what he really meant that for a while, but now I know, because I know Isaiah was saying there, he said, yeah, I have a lot of young people. I said, that's the way our young people are doing, and I'm so proud of them. And I want them to really get into the church and get involved all in it. And you just can say it's your church, But I would like to see them all really get into the church and get really baptized and really get to speaking in tongues and all that,
Well, I would just like them to know that if they put God first in their lives, if they give their heart to them, if they give their heart to the Lord, if they use the Bible as the guide, they worship regularly and pray, that the Lord will take care of them and provide them with what they need. But most of all, there'll be a peace in their heart that nothing can give. All the money in the world does not give what a relationship with Christ gives to His people.
I think people need to know that if you love God, He will take care of you. If you are faithful, He is faithful as well. He will do for us. In fact, in some of when I taught children's church, I gave out of my own pocket to do the funds because sometimes we didn't have it. But at the end of the month, I had more in the bank when I gave to God than if I didn't give to God. God is just so amazing.